I discovered a secret real estate investment niche that took me from welfare to wealthy in only 5 years, starting with no money. It made such a difference in my life that now I help other people do exactly what I did. Now, to be clear, the way I define wealthy is having enough passive investment income to take care of your family's lifestyle and even expand your lifestyle without the need to have a job. So if that sounds good to you, you're going to love this short video. The problem that most people have is that they don't have any sources of passive income. And if anything happens to their ability to work, they're going to be in big trouble. I saw a study that said more than half of American workers would run out of money 1 month after losing their income. It also said that 3 out of 4 American workers would run out of money in less than 6 months. Now, here's a reality check, guys. If you need to work every day in order to maintain your lifestyle, you're just literally one level above a slave, aren't you? See, you're forced to work. If you ever want to be free, then you're going to have to develop enough passive income to support your family even if you don't have a job. I call that mailbox money. And there is no financial freedom without passive income. And here's the truth that most people fail to acknowledge. The future arrives faster than expected. And the freedom that you want tomorrow is built by the decisions that you make today. Most of us are not professional investors, and we don't know all of the pros and cons of every type of investment. And so we either have to figure it out on our own, which can be overwhelming, or we have to turn to professionals for guidance and direction. To me, that's where the confusion really moves to a whole new level, if you know what I mean. You see, even the experts can't agree on the best plan for creating financial freedom. They recommend all kinds of investments, but there's one that they don't talk about, even though it's been around since 1938. And the investment that I'm talking about is mortgage contracts. I call it the best kept secret in real estate. Financial experts don't talk about it because they cannot earn fees when you invest in it. But just because the experts don't recommend it doesn't mean it's a bad investment. As a matter of fact, investing in mortgage contracts took me from government welfare rolls to financial independence in only 5 years. And I literally started with no money. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you a case study that demonstrates exactly how I did it. You see, if you want to have a life where you don't have to go to work in order to take care of your family, the solution is pretty simple. You need to find a source of income to replace the money that you make at work, right? I recommend investment income because it's passive, which means you don't have to work for it. Now, you may be wondering if the strategy that made me wealthy will do the same for you. And the answer that I want to tell you is yes, absolutely. If you're coachable and you're not lazy. Now, I know that mortgage contracts will provide the investment income that creates financial freedom. I also know exactly how to make that happen. And that's why I co-founded Note Investor University and the American Wealth Builders Network. So let me show you how this stuff works, guys. In order to create financial freedom with mortgage contracts, you need to have 7 essential resources. The first is specialized knowledge. You need to have specialized knowledge of exactly how mortgage contracts work. The second is key relationships. In order to be successful, you need to have relationships with people that can support you in your endeavors. The third is hands-on experience. You need someone that has been there, done that can show you exactly what to do so that you don't make rookie mistakes, let's call it. Next, you need to have a plan, a strategic plan, something that you can use to guide your steps, step by step, day by day. Otherwise, you're going to go out there and you're just going to wing it, and that's how people lose money. Next, you'll also need to have management skills because this entire project needs someone that can direct it, kind of like an orchestra director, right? Managing all of the moving parts. The sixth essential resource that you need is time, because if no one devotes time to it, the endeavor will fail. So I'm sure you can guess by now what the 7th resource is. Yes, you're right, it's money. Because without money, none of this happens. But at the same time, I want you to know that I think money is the least important of the 7 essential resources. Now, the reason that I say that is simple. You see, there are a lot of people in the world who have money that they want to invest. A lot of people. However, how many people have the other 6 resources? How many people have the specialized knowledge, the key relationships, the hands-on experience, the proven plan, the management skills, and the time to work in the mortgage contract investing space? Not that many. And so that's what I focused my attention on when I got started. I decided that I would become an absolute expert in the first 6 resources. And once I became an expert, people with money started asking if they could partner with me on the contracts that I was buying. You see, they didn't have the knowledge, they didn't have the relationships or the experience, they didn't have a plan, they didn't have the skills, and they didn't have the time to deal with this. And so for those people, partnering with me is a win-win scenario. And it will work exactly the same way for you too. So I'm going to share a case study with you right now that demonstrates exactly how I went from food stamps to financial freedom. And I can assure you that if you follow the simple steps in the plan that I used, you will succeed too. I call this case study the Missouri Moneymaker. So here's the story. The bank that held the mortgage contract on this little house posted the contract for sale. The house is valued at $180,000, and the bank was owed $127,000 by the homeowner. The homeowner had 15 years left to pay on their contract, and their contract payments were $1,215.15 a month. That's their mortgage payment, okay? So that's the deal that the bank put up for sale. Here's what's interesting. The bank was asking only $100,000 for this contract. And to me, I said, that's a pretty sweet deal. Think about this, an opportunity to buy a $127,000 contract for $100,000 and pick up $1,200 a month in payments. That's a game changer right there in your life, right? So I really wanted to move forward on this transaction, but I had a problem, and maybe some of you guys can relate to this problem. I didn't happen to have $100,000 laying around at the time, okay? But I did have the other 6 essential resources. And so what I did is I went to social media, and I announced that I was looking for a partner for this opportunity. Several people reached out to me with questions about the deal. I thought that was kind of exciting. One of them was an engineer with a retirement account, and he offered to partner with me after I explained to him how this deal was structured and how his money was protected. He used his retirement savings to fund this opportunity. Now, here's how we set it up. He loaned me $104,000. Now, the reason he loaned me $104,000 is because I used $100,000 to buy the contract, and then I took $4,000 and put it into my bank account as cash reserves. He also wanted to earn 8% on his money, which works out to be $994 a month. And we used that $180,000 house as collateral to secure his position. And by the way, think about this. I borrowed $104,000 with no credit checks. How often does that happen in your life? Well, I can tell you that in my life, I've done that more than 100 times. So let's take a look at why he would want to partner with me on a deal like this. You see, he's going to collect $994 every month for the next 15 years. And when you do the math, you're going to see that he's going to collect a total of $179,000 on his investment. So his $104,000 retirement account is going to grow to nearly $180,000 over the next 15 years, and that's without him personally adding another nickel. That's why he did it. You see, from his perspective, he says, look, all I've got to do is write a check and I can make a $75,000 profit? Hey, dude, I'm in. And that's exactly what is happening in his life. We're still in this note deal together. And I've had more than 100 people do the same thing with me. And if you master the first 6 essential resources, they'll do the same thing for you too. Because when they partner with you, they make money, but so do you. Let me show you how this works out for me. Remember, I'm collecting $1,215 every month from the homeowner. $994 goes to him, but $221 comes to me. That's not too bad, especially when you consider that I have no money invested, right? So I'm going to collect $221 a month. That's $2,652 a year for the next 15 years. That's a total of $39,780 coming my way, and I didn't invest a dime. And let's not forget about the fact that he paid me $4,000 right up front that I put right into my bank account. Guys, so this one contract is worth nearly $44,000 to me. And here's the really cool part. It took me less than 5 hours to put this whole deal together, beginning to end. Everything took less than 5 hours. So I look at each of these contracts that I own, and I think of it as kind of like a little money tree, right? And the tree produces fruit every month, and that fruit is money. And I don't have to do anything to get that money. It's called passive income. Now, I know that $221 a month does not make me financially free, but this is just one contract. Once I figured out how to do one deal, I said, there's got to be other people out there who want to do this. And so I just started repeating the process. And today I have an orchard of money trees. Check this out. Assuming that you make $221 per contract, if you repeat the process only 48 times over the next 5 years, you're going to have $10,600 a month in passive income coming in. Now, for most Americans, that is enough to replace their job. And let's not forget about the upfront cash that you'll collect. If you average $4,000 per contract, that puts an additional $192,000 in your pocket up front just for making investments, guys. How powerful is this? $192,000 in upfront cash, $10,600 a month in monthly income. If that doesn't represent financial freedom to you, you don't have to stop at 48. Just keep going. I did. And you don't have to let it take 5 years either to get this done. You can certainly get it done in a year or two. You've just got to be willing to put in the work. So here's the reason that I know you will become wealthy if you follow this plan. You see, you don't need to have all 7 essential resources. You only need 6. Other people will put up the money. The world is filled with other people who have money. So you'll never run out of partners. In my opinion, the next thing you do should be to enroll in our online Note Investor University coaching program so that you can learn those 6 essential resources. Once you enroll in the coaching program, you're going to spend the next 30 days or so going through the video-based training at your own pace and acquiring the specialized knowledge, which is the first of the 7 essential resources. Once you've completed the course, then you're going to earn your CNIS designation. That stands for Certified Note Investing Specialist. This immediately gives you credibility with the people that have money to invest and with the banks that have mortgage contracts to sell. You're also going to be part of the American Wealth Builders Network. This is a community of professionals that are all involved in the mortgage contract investing space. We meet every week for coaching, for networking, and for learning. We even do partnership deals together. In fact, once you are certified, your first partner could very well come from right within this community. It happens all the time, guys. Listen, I can sit here all day and tell you how great this thing is, but I want you to hear from a few of our students who have actually gone through the program at Note Investor University. This is Donna. She's a nurse. Here's what she said. We have purchased our 5th mortgage contract and we're selling our rental house so that we can buy more. I don't blame you, Donna. I got rid of all my rentals too. Why be a landlord when you can get money from real estate without owning the real estate? All I want is the money. I don't need the real estate. This is NJ. He's a doctor. NJ says, I raised $750,000 in partnership capital for investing in mortgage contracts. Guys, that's what we teach you how to do. We teach you how to go out and raise money so that you can buy these mortgage contracts. This is Catherine. Catherine is a life coach. She said, shortly after I completed the training modules, I purchased my first mortgage contract, which pays me $420 per month passive income. Now listen, I showed you guys in the case study $221 per month. Catherine's first contract pays her $420 a month. You guys need to understand that $221 a month is a conservative number. I have contracts that pay me $400, $500, $600 a month per contract. And so what that means is you don't really have to have 48 of them to get to $10,000 a month. I just use that in my case study as an example, guys. This is Patrick. He is a retired Army colonel. He said, soon after entering the coaching program, I purchased multiple mortgage contracts. Multiple contracts, guys. That is how you're going to build wealth. And you're going to do that using other people's money, because that's the name of the game. Once you learn how to use other people's money to do your investments, there is absolutely nothing to stop you from investing in more and more and more assets. This is Diana. She is a homemaker. She said, I receive money in my bank account every month from the contracts that I have purchased, and that is awesome. I couldn't have said it better myself. It is awesome when that money shows up in your bank account every single month. It's a great, great feeling. This is Carlo. He's a business consultant. He said, by following the coaching program, I was able to buy 3 mortgage contracts using other people's money, that's OPM. I collected $15,000 at closing, plus I now receive $700 passive income every month. You see, I showed you guys in my case study an example of getting $4,000 up front when you buy a mortgage contract. But let me tell you, you can get more than that. I purchased one mortgage contract that I collected more than $20,000 in upfront reserves. Guys, there is absolutely nothing that can stop you from becoming financially independent if you pursue this. There's nothing that can stop you. This is Ivan. He's a doctor. He says, with Desi's guidance, I was able to purchase a mobile home park in Arkansas using none of my own money and no credit checks. I mean, he bought a whole mobile home park, not just a mobile home. I helped him buy a whole mobile home park, guys. I'm in this game, and I teach you guys how to get in the game and how to make money using other people's money. That's the skill set. Once you do that, there's nothing that's going to stop you from becoming wealthy. Nothing. This is Maurice. He's a university professor in San Diego. He said, I've raised $40,000 my first year by following the program and expect to raise $200,000 next year. That is absolutely doable. And this is Chris. He's an architect. He said, my passive cash flow from my mortgage contracts is currently at $3,980 per month. Wow. Can you imagine this, guys? Making $3,980 per month on top of your employment income. And that's in addition to what you make on your job. How long would it take you to save up a bundle of money, or to pay off a debt, or pay off your mortgage, whatever? I mean, that is so powerful. And Chris was able to do this using other people's money, and so can you. We have plenty of other stories, but I think you get the picture. So if you're wondering if our program will work for you, the answer is yes, yes, yes. And here's something else that I noticed, guys. I noticed that my most successful students that I have coached are those that are action takers. With our coaching program, you're going to receive access to our mortgage contract education curriculum. It's video-based and it's self-paced training where you're going to learn everything about finding contracts, negotiating them, how to vet them, how to manage them, how to service them. You'll even learn how to buy mortgage contracts using other people's money. And that is the skill that's going to make you rich. You're going to have access to weekly coaching calls where we look at the deals you're looking at. We look over your shoulder. We help you structure your deals. You get your questions answered. You get to network with people that have been there, done that. Guys, this is an amazing, amazing opportunity. If you have the right support, there's no reason you can't succeed. And we have built this entire ecosystem to support you in your endeavors to become financially independent. You're also going to have access to our 7 deep dive masterclasses. So what is that? Over the years, I came to realize that there are certain high-level skills that have really helped propel me forward. I call these advanced strategies. And so what I did is I have taken the 7 advanced strategies that I've developed, I put them all into deep dive advanced strategy training sessions. Once you've gone through these 7 master classes, you will be an absolute expert in this space. As you can imagine, when you invest in the mortgage contract space, there's probably legal documents that you're going to need, and you would be right. There are more than a dozen legal documents that you're going to need as you conduct your business. Now, when I got started, I didn't have access to those documents. So over the years, I have paid attorneys to draft all these documents for me. In fact, I have more than $20,000 in legal fees drafting up all these various documents. And you don't have to do that because as a coaching student, I give you access to the documents that I have already had drafted by our legal team. All you've got to do then is use those documents and have them reviewed by your own attorney, as opposed to have them drafted. And it's a lot less expensive to have a document reviewed than it is to have it drafted from scratch. Okay? So that's a huge benefit that you get just as a part of our program. Now, I mentioned earlier that you're going to receive your CNIS designation. You're going to literally be a certified note investing specialist. And as a specialist, you're going to attract the attention of the banks, of the hedge funds, and of the people with money because they know that you know what you're doing. Now, I think you're going to really love this benefit here. You see, if you're going to be investing in mortgage contracts, you need to have access to them. Now, you could obviously go to banks to buy them, but because of your relationship with us, we have a relationship with our sister company called Everly May Capital Group. The Everly May Capital Group is a $250 million real estate fund, and they buy mortgage contracts in bulk, and then they sell them off one at a time. So, as one of our coaching partners, you're going to have access to these mortgage contracts before they even go out to the public. What a powerful position to be in. You get to pick the best of the best. I like that, and I'm sure you're going to love that too. Over the years, our company has developed relationships with attorneys, with title companies, real estate appraisers, realtors, all kinds of people that can help you as you are building your mortgage contract business. Well, it takes time to develop these relationships. Well, you don't have to go through that because we've already done it. We've already vetted these people. We've already used them. And so we can tell you who to use wherever you're doing your business. So as you're out there building your portfolio and you're investing all around the country, you don't have to wonder who can help me in this state or in this county. Guys, we got your back. We got it all covered. We give you access to our entire database of professionals. Buying a mortgage contract is just the beginning. Once you own them, now you need to know how to manage your portfolio, right? So you're going to receive training and tools to help you master managing your assets. This is going to help you avoid making rookie mistakes, and also it's going to save you time and money as your portfolio grows. I'm also going to connect you with the licensed mortgage loan servicing companies all around the country to help you remain compliant with the local laws that impact you as a mortgage contract investor. You see, every state has their own rules. So what we do is we work with specific companies that are licensed in those states. And by doing that, we remain compliant and we don't have to get a license. So we're going to connect you with all the companies that you need to protect yourself and keep you compliant. And finally, you're going to receive a full year's membership in one of the most successful investment groups in the industry, the American Wealth Builders Network. And as a member, you're going to connect with some highly successful mortgage contract investors around the country and around the world. You'll learn from and partner with people that have already done what you're trying to do. This is going to help you get through the learning curve and into the profit curve very quickly. So if you are an action taker, I am going to reward you today with a huge discount for enrolling. You see, the tuition for the education, the resources, and the full year of coaching is only $8,000. But I'm going to do better than that for the first 5 people that enroll today. We have programmed our AI assistant to offer this $8,000 coaching program for only $3,597 to the first 5 people that enroll. That's more than 50% off the tuition. You see, the tuition is discounted, but the training is not discounted. The coaching isn't discounted. The support isn't discounted. Guys, you're still going to have access to all the tools, all the resources, all the coaching that has helped our other students achieve the success that they have achieved. We don't hold anything back. So I'd like to say this: if you're an overthinker, or if you're suffering from analysis paralysis, I've even got something for you. I'll give you 72 hours to change your mind. If within 3 days you decide that this is not for you, all you've got to do is let me know, and I will immediately issue you a refund. So grab your credit card right now and get enrolled. Charge it if you need to. And the reason that I say that is because even if you charge it, guys, your payments are only going to be about $75 a month while you're going through your training. I mean, that's a little more than $2 a day. You probably spend more than that on coffee or snacks, honestly, right? Now, perhaps you're like me when I got started. I didn't have a credit card. I told you I was broke, right? So what I did is I talked to my sister. She put it on her credit card, and I paid the payment until I got the money to pay off the balance. So if you're serious, and if you are an action taker, but you don't have the financial means to enroll, here's my advice to you. Figure it out. We're talking about fixing your financial situation so that you never have to worry about money again, ever. Can you imagine that? You see, that's what this strategy did for me, but that wasn't my story when I first heard about mortgage contracts. Remember, I was 60 years old, I was broke, and I was on welfare. And today, my little portfolio of contracts pays me enough to completely support my lifestyle, which now includes taking my wife on a vacation every 90 days. Listen, are you sick and tired of pinching pennies and worrying about money? Worrying about your future, telling your family members and the people that you love, we can't afford it? Doesn't that get old? I'm 73 years old, and I'm here to tell you this. If you don't change something, then nothing is going to change for you. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. Now, I know you may be thinking to yourself, this sounds really good. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to come back tomorrow and get enrolled. Well, here's the truth, guys. That's not going to happen. If you don't get enrolled right now, you know in your gut, you're not going to come back tomorrow and get enrolled. Just get yourself enrolled. And if you wake up in the morning and feel like you need to cancel, then just reach out to us. We'll refund your money immediately. But don't let yourself off the hook. This is too important. This is life-changing. And with the money-back guarantee, you really have no risk. This is your chance. If you've been looking for the answer to fixing your financial situation forever and fixing the financial situation of your kids and your grandkids, this is it. In my family, my children are involved, my adult grandchildren are involved, and the young grandchildren hear it and learn all about it along the way, because I know this is going to give them something that my parents didn't give me. This is going to give them a real shot at financial independence. And I want that for my family, and I bet you want that for your family too. You are not here by mistake, any more than I was. I prayed for an answer. God revealed mortgage contracts to me, and it changed my life. This is your answered prayer, guys. God has put this in your path. Don't turn your back on it. This is too important. Once you get yourself enrolled, you're going to have immediate access to all the training and to our coaching program. So I'm going to end it with that, guys. I'm going to say, just do this. I'm not asking you to do this for me. My life is set. Literally, it is set. I don't need any more money. I'm doing this because I really want to see you make a difference in your own life and in your own family. And so I hope to see you on our next week's coaching call because you are our newest and our most recent coaching student. God bless you, and I'll see you on the coaching call.